What now?
Are you gonna send me downstairs like I'm the one making the noise or not? You don't know who was back there talking. I wasn't the only one talking.
Well, first and foremost, the bailiffs, the sheriff's deputies who are operating as bailiffs are the ones who control that pod there where the prisoners are kept. So the only thing that I know is that there was noise being committed. And
ladies and gentlemen, what you're about to witness is not just a courtroom hearing, it's a moment of truth. The judge has already made up his mind about the defendant's attitude, and the tension in this room is about to explode. Watch closely, because one wrong word could send this man straight back to jail.
we were almost through with the females, so they indicated they were going to transfer you downstairs. And since we were not going to get to you before lunch, I didn't see any reason that couldn't happen. So the other issue that I would have addressed is that you are here today. One of the motions that you have is a transcription. You are asking for a transcript and all judgment papers, and that's necessary for your appeal, and we'll deal with that. But the first and foremost thing is the motion to withdraw your guilty plea. In the case that we tried last week, you had pled guilty to the driving on a revoked license. So if you want to address that issue, then I'm going to let you take up each one of your motions. I have a motion to withdraw your guilty plea, a motion to continue the sentencing, a motion for a transcript and all judgment papers, and a motion to compel evidence, including copies of YouTube videos. So we're going to take those up in that order. So if you'll come to the podium, I will hear what you have to say on each one of those motions.
All right, what was the first one again?
First one is your motion to withdraw your guilty plea. At the trial, you were charged with driving on a revoked license, third offense, and then count 2 was dismissed and count 3 was retaliation for past action. Prior to the commencement, well, actually when the indictment was read, you entered a plea of guilty to count 1, driving on a revoked license, third offense. So that waived your right to contest the issue of whether you're guilty or not guilty of that. Obviously, there's not been a sentencing hearing on that, so you would still have the right to appeal whatever sentence I impose in that case, but you would have waived your right to contest your guilt or innocence of driving on a revoked license.
I object. The rule states that you can place a withdrawal of guilty plea before sentencing, and we haven't even been to sentencing yet. So that I'm well in the rights to withdraw my plea to guilt. I was under the pressure of my assistant counsel, and I feel like that he gave me some bad advice, and to withdraw is well in my right to do so.
Well, it is within your rights to request to withdraw your guilty plea. It is not an absolute right. You have referred to Rule 32, and I'm going to let the state just address these motions from the chair where she is so that you don't have to keep walking back and forth. But I will let you address each one of those motions, and then I will let the state address those motions, and then I'll make my ruling. So that was your argument, is that you want to withdraw it because you think you got bad advice from Mr. Spratt?
Yeah, and it's just the pressure of my first time doing this, Your Honor. I fully didn't understand what was going on. There was a lot of other things going on at the time. I was doing my best to keep up, and that was like a spare moment decision. And
okay, I understand. Then let's move on to the second one. You have filed a motion to continue the sentencing in your case. Your motion to continue sentencing states that you're requesting a continuance in the sentencing, that you want time to prepare some preservable rights for appeal. and that the delay is only requested to receive the transcript from the trial. All right. I understand. Is there anything you want to add to what you've written there?
Yeah, basically, requesting for a continuance because I plan to put in a motion for a new trial, and without the facts of the dates and the circumstances, what he said and she said, I mean, I couldn't give you a good, well drawn up motion for new trial to properly preserve for appeal.
All right. You want to request a transcript of the trial, is that correct?
Yes, I want a transcript of the trial, and I want any and all papers filed in by myself and the public defender and my paid attorney. This is not the first time I put this into the courts. It goes along with filing for new trial. There's due process errors and other errors that the record can show, and it's in the possession of the courts.
Right. Then I will hand you a copy. Madam Clerk, if you will raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this case to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. That is a motion to compel evidence, and you state that you want copies of you want all YouTube videos to be made available on USB or playable DVD or CD from the date of your arraignment to date. Those videos are relevance to your appeal. All right. Anything you want to add to that?
It stands for the same reasons that for all papers, to Your Honor, the same exact. Reason.
Okay. If that's all you have to, if there's anything else you want to add to those motions, that's what we're hearing today.
Yeah, is that I guess that she said it was that's all from arraignment date?
I'm sorry?
Is that all from arraignment date?
Everything in your file, that would start with the arraignment and come forward, yes.
Okay.
Let me, before you leave the podium, you had previously made reference to and filed a motion for a speedy trial in your cases, and I'm prepared to give you a trial tomorrow on the on the failure to appear case. That is one of the three remaining charges, and I'm looking at a date later in the month for the trial on one of the other remaining charges so that we may comply with your request for speedy trial.
What are the three remaining charges, Your Honor?
You have docket number 2021 CR 462, which is aggravated assault. Count 1 through 6 is aggravated assault while displaying a weapon. Count 7 is reckless endangerment using a deadly weapon. Count 8 is reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon involved. Count 9 is possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Then the case 336 is the one we tried, and that's the one we've dealt with so far. Docket number 337 is count 1, simple assault, count 2, false imprisonment, count 3, disorderly conduct, count 4, public intoxication, and docket number 2024 CR 142 is a single count of failure to appear. So that is the case that I understand the state can be ready to proceed on tomorrow, failure to appear.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'll be ready for that. I do have a request of the courts, though. I still have some video evidence at the jail. And
Video evidence of what?
Of the discovery that was in my discovery packet at the jail, and they're under the impression that I don't have any more court. When I asked to view it, they're telling me no.
Well, they'll be notified that you've got trials coming up The trial tomorrow is a failure to appear, which shouldn't have any video evidence that would.
No, that's understandable, Your Honor. I don't understand where they're getting their information that I'm through with courts, and it's hindering me to be prepared when I come to court.
But we'll make sure that the bailiffs relay to the jail and that the clerk relays to the jail. You do have other cases pending. State is trying to determine whether or not they can have a trial on the 23rd and 24th of any of the remaining charges. Let me advise you that the trial that we're going to have tomorrow on the failure to appear will be by jury, but it will be a different panel they won't be the same jurors. In other words, they won't know anything about your prior case. So we have 4 panels of the jury group that was brought in. Group 1 was their first trial. Group 2 will be our panel 2, as we call it, will be the panel that will try your case tomorrow.
It would be the ones that was left over?
No, they weren't here that day at all.
Okay.
So they weren't brought in. We bring them in groups, panels. So the ones that'll try your case tomorrow will be a different group.